Hello and welcome for the Tableau project. And we'll be taking a project on the Russo-Ukraine war, and we are conducting a data analytical perspective review. And out here we have the data set, which was traced online from some of the data sources, and we can see here there is a gamut of the entire war that has played out so far until the 9th of June 2022, starting from 25th of June, 25th of February. So we can see here, these columns, they have all the equipment and the personnel related data available. And in some cases, some of the data is missing. Of course, out here we can see there are blanks, because not every day they were losing all the equipments. So some of this data is empty. In some cases it is filled. So certain types of equipment was lost on certain days of war, and other type of equipment was lost in the beginning or in the start of the war. So fine, let's launch the Tableau software quickly, and then we'll import this given data set. And another important thing that we have here is for this project. So what all are we covering here as part of this project? So this is what do we discuss on the project? On the difficulty level, it is an intermediate class project, which means to do this project, you must have the following skill sets. Tableau Desktop's GUI, that is a graphical user interface usage and understanding. Followed by that, we also understand the project objectives. So what will the participants will be able to implement? What all will they implement? They'll implement wide variety of Tableau Desktop features. We have some big count of Tableau Desktop features in Tableau Desktop, and they'll be able to implement those. They'll be able to create dashboards and stories and worksheets, and there'll be interactivity across dashboards, storyboards and worksheets, and which is quite integral to Tableau, because unless you have created the worksheet, you will not be able to create a dashboard out of it, and unless a dashboard is created, you won't be able to prepare any storyboards, because most of these are related to each other. You have to import the worksheet in the dashboard, and you import the dashboard in the storyboard. So that's not import, essentially associate or drag and drop, as we call it. And then the third part is, what will you learn in this project? Well, practical implementation of Tableau Desktop features on real-time data sets. And yes, that is true. We had the data set on the Russian-Ukraine war. So we'll be implementing the Tableau Desktop features on those data sets. Followed by what are the project requirements and prerequisites, of course. Some familiarities with Microsoft Excel is desired, although not mandatory, which means even if you are doing Tableau Desktop from scratch, that is fine. But if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, you will understand things a lot better, because typically it has got more to do with the graphs and charts and all. So next is the targeted students, of course. And they're data visualization services providers, typically the companies which provide only a data visualization output based on the data that they have. Then we have the Tableau and IT developers. We also have the data sciences professionals and business analysts and managers. Now, these people, this particular project is going to be very useful for these set of students or these set of professionals. Followed by, what all skill sets would you have developed? We all would have learned the Tableau Desktop skills, of course. That's quite evident. And fine, so what are the project contents for this? Well, we have the details of military equipment destroyed or damaged. And then we will be working on the creation of worksheets detailing military equipment damaged and destroyed through pie charts and graphical representation. We'll also be creating dashboards reflecting on the damaged equipment. So whilst we will have prepared the worksheets, then those worksheets will be dragged and dropped on the dashboards, and they will be processing it on the dashboard. And then finally, we'll be creating a storyboard as a report of what all we study and analyze on the dashboard and the worksheet. Next, so fine, what is a case study about really? We have chosen the data set of Russian military equipment destroyed or damaged. We'll perform the following tasks. Generate relevant pie charts for assessing and studying the different types of Russian military equipment destroyed or damaged. Typically, it could be pie charts, or it could be some other charts also. And then we'll also create dashboards for assessment of the equipment damaged. And of course, thereafter, it will be followed by storyboards as a reporting mechanism. We intend to cover the following scenarios as part of this case study. And when we speak of those scenarios, what all will be covered? Of course, Russian equipment data set will be imported. Typically, when I say the equipment data set, means the one that is destroyed or damaged. And then thereafter, we create workshops. We create worksheets using graphs and charts. We'll create dashboards for studying equipment destruction. Create storyboards as a project report. Share the project report on Tableau server online. And fine, so that is what we have, and then we can now start. So, right, so now when we speak of mapping the data, we can see here that they have mapped the data out here. We see that is a Russian losses equipment. That's the file name, typically what we are seeing. And that's a data. These are the different columns that have been imported that we can see here. Now we can see here some of these values are null. They are going to be null, of course, because the data is missing therein. And then let's come here. So now we have the different measures and tables that are provided over here. And fine, so let us do one thing. Let's quickly start with dragging and dropping the data that we have here. So what do we intend to study here? As we have mentioned here, we intend to study we'll be creating worksheets using the graphs and charts and dashboards, of course. We'll be creating the worksheets for detailing the military equipment damaged or destroyed through pie charts and other graphical representations. So fine. Let us import the day. We'll take it as a column. We can also take it as a row. Correct. And then we take aircrafts. Let us check out on the different artillery. How much artillery do we have? We have field artillery. We have anti-aircraft warfare. We have helicopters. Fine. So let us take the aerial equipment first. That is the aircraft. That is the helicopter. So fine. On each of the days that we have here, if we come here and we want to change, we can edit the axis. We have set it as automatic. We can edit it uniform axis range for all rows, independent axis range for each row and column, or we can have it fixed. So fixed start at what? Let's start at 0 and let us end it at what? 112 days. Yeah, it has been almost that. 25th. Yeah, it's been almost 112 days. So fine, that is how we are setting the dates. Tick marks, do you want to have any ticks here? Well, we'll leave it at that. So fine, I close this window. So this is how I see this. Out here, we can see that on the sheet 1, we have taken the aircraft and the helicopter. Let us see if there is any other airborne military equipment can be taken. Anti-aircraft warfare, cruise missiles in the air, drones we can take, of course. So let's put drones here as well. So we are seeing here that there is a difference. We are seeing the spike as far as the initial days are concerned. We are seeing that there has been spike in the aircrafts and the helicopters after first few days of the war. So typically at the 20th or after 20th day, we have seen a steady increase in the damage of the aircraft, the Russian fighter jets that we know. So from here, from 38, it has increased quite steeply, and after day 68, it has shot up practically. It has shot up hugely. So that is one thing that we are seeing here. Now this is a line chart that we have drawn here. So let us rename this sheet as what? Airborne equipment. That's what I am naming this worksheet as. And then thereafter, we'll take some special equipment also. We have tanks, we have fuel tanks, military auto. So there are many other military equipment that we see here. That is land, that is suited for land warfare or landborne. These are all airborne equipment that we are studying or that we have analyzed. So fine. So now thereafter, we'll pick the equipment that is Landborn.